All right, everybody. Sorry this video is so late, but let me tell you what I've been doing. You guys, I just took a trip to Disneyland. And I didn't even leave my house. We printed out little tickets and we got on YouTube and we walked around Disneyland. We've been riding rides like Pirates of the Caribbean and Indiana Jones, and we're going to go on Splash Mountain. And my son, every time there's a ride we go on that has water, he pulls out the spray bottle and squirts us in the face so that it feels like the real experience. And we've been eating churros and it's been so fun. Anyway, I wish I could really go to Disneyland, but that's going to have to wait. Okay, maybe I will post some pictures of our Disneyland trip tomorrow. But we're going to read another story. It's called Mr. Seahorse by Eric Carle. And this has some super cool pages in it. And I have to be really careful where I point my camera because you know what? My room is really messy. Are your rooms messy? Oh no. I'll make you a deal. If you clean your room tomorrow, I'll clean mine. How's that? Okay. All right, here we go. Eric Carle, Mr. Seahorse. Mr. and Mrs. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea. Mrs. Seahorse began to wiggle and twist this way and that. It's time for me to lay my egg, she said. Can I help? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Oh, yes, thank you, said Mrs. Seahorse, and she laid her eggs into a pouch on Mr. Seahorse's belly. I'll take good care of our eggs, said Mr. Seahorse. I promise. Kids, who else do we know that where the dad takes care of the egg while the mom goes and gets food? Do you remember? As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by... Can you see him? Can you see him? A group of trumpet fish hidden in a patch of reeds. Now look, the seahorse is hiding. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Stickleback? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Delighted, replied Mr. Stickleback. I just built a nest and right away. Mrs. Stickleback laid her eggs into it. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. Keep up the good work, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by... See if you can see it. Can you see it in there? A lionfish hidden beneath a coral reef. Whoops. There's the coral. And there's the lionfish. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Tilapia? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Mr. Tilapia couldn't answer. His mouth was full of eggs. I know, said Mr. Seahorse. Mrs. Tilapia laid her eggs. Now you are taking good care of them until they hatch. Mr. Tilapia nodded his head. You must be very happy, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by... Can you see what's behind there? A pair of leaf fish hidden among the seaweed. Look, they kind of look like leaves, don't they? And look, now Mr. Seahorse is behind the seaweed. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Mr. Curtis?" asked Mr. Seahorse. "Perfectly fine," replied Mr. Curtis. "Mrs. Curtis laid her eggs, and I have stuck them on my head. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch." "You are doing a good job," said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed by... What is it? A stonefish hidden behind a rock. Why do you think this is called a stonefish? Does it kind of have the same colors as this stone? Kind of. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Mr. Pipe?" asked Mr. Seahorse. Why do you think this is called pipefish? "Mrs. Pipe laid her eggs along my belly. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch." "You should feel very proud of yourself," said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. Whoa. "How are you, Mr. Bullhead?" asked Mr. Seahorse. "Tip-top," replied Mr. Bullhead. "Mrs. Bullhead laid her eggs, and the eggs hatched. Now I'm babysitting." "You are doing a fine job," said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. Look at all those kids. The time had come for the seahorse babies to be born. Here they come out of the pouch. Mr. Seahorse wiggled and twisted this way and that. At last the babies tumbled from Mr. Seahorse's pouch and swam away. One baby turned around and tried to come back into the pouch. "Oh no," said Mr. Seahorse. "I do love you, but now you're ready to be on your own." Oh my goodness. How did you like that story? I love those pages, and the art is so cool and so colorful. Okay, here is a challenge for you. I'm going to count how many fish the bullhead fish had. How many babies? Let's count them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So the bullhead had 18 fish. And the seahorse had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The seahorse had 12 seahorses, baby seahorses. So here is my question. How many more fish did the bullhead have than the seahorse? And how many fewer babies did the seahorse have than the bullhead fish? And your last question is, how many babies did they have all together? And if you can figure that out, write it in your journal tomorrow. have mom and dad take a picture of it and send it to me. I want to see how many of you figured that out. And mom and dad can help you if they need to. All right, good night. I love you. Tomorrow we're going to clean our rooms and get our homework done. All right, have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.